Right now, as you're watching this, time is slipping away. Not dramatically, not obviously, but quietly, like sand through your fingers. And here's what terrifies me most about that. You can't feel it happening. I'm 32 now, but I swear I was just 22 yesterday. I blinked and a decade vanished. The scary part? I have almost nothing to show for those years. While my friends built careers, relationships, and wealth, I was stuck in what I now call the waiting room of life. But here's the thing. I cracked the code. I discovered the 6 patterns that separate people who thrive from people who survive. And I'm about to hand you everything that took me 10 brutal years to learn. The question is, will you listen? Or will you be sitting here in 10 years watching someone else's video, wishing you had started today? Chapter 1. The Time Illusion Trap. Let me ask you something. How old were you when the iPhone first came out? That was 18 years ago. 18! But I bet it feels like maybe 5 or 6, right? Here's why that matters. Your brain is lying to you about time. And that lie is stealing your life. Neuroscientists at Stanford discovered something chilling. When you live identical days, wake up, work, Netflix, sleep, repeat, your brain literally deletes most of those memories. It's called temporal compression. Your brain thinks, nothing new happened, so why store it? That's why your childhood felt endless. Every day was different, every experience was new. But now your brain is on autopilot, compressing months into what feels like days. Here's the brutal truth. You're not living 365 days a year. You're living maybe 50 distinct days and repeating them until you die. But I found the antidote. It's called cognitive anchoring. Every week, do something that scares you. Not extreme, just different. Take a new route. Call an old friend. Start that project. These become timestamps in your memory. The result? Life doesn't just get longer, it gets richer. Chapter 2. The Comfort Zone Death Spiral. Your comfort zone isn't comfortable. It's a slow-motion prison. I realized this when I caught myself having the exact same conversation with my coworker for the 47th time. Same complaints, same jokes, same responses. I was living in a loop and I didn't even notice. Here's what Harvard researchers found. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy, so it's constantly looking for shortcuts. Familiar patterns require less energy than new ones. That's why scrolling TikTok for 3 hours feels effortless, but writing one email feels exhausting. Your brain isn't lazy, it's efficient. But that efficiency is killing your potential. The fix is counterintuitive. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I started doing discomfort sprints, 10 minutes a day of something that made me squirm. Cold showers, difficult conversations, learning a new skill. The first week was hell, but by week 3, something clicked. My brain stopped fighting change. It started craving it. Here's your homework. Pick one thing you've been avoiding, just one thing. Do it for 10 minutes today, not tomorrow, today. Because growth isn't about massive changes. It's about micro-rebellions against your own resistance. Chapter 3. The Motivation Myth. Motivation is the biggest scam in self-help. I spent years waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Guess what? It never did. I'd have these incredible bursts of energy that lasted maybe 3 days, then crash back to zero. Here's why motivation fails. It's emotional fuel, and emotions are unreliable. They spike, they crash, they disappear when you need them most. But focus is a superpower you can build. MIT neuroscientist Dr. Earl Miller discovered that focused attention literally rewires your brain. When you concentrate on one thing for extended periods, you strengthen the neural pathways that control willpower and decision-making. The secret weapon is called attention training. 25-minute focus blocks, never longer. One task only. Phone in another room, not silent, but gone. Set a micro goal. I'll write one paragraph, or I'll read 5 pages. Here's the magic. Once you start, your brain releases dopamine. Not when you finish, when you make progress. That chemical reward keeps you going. Stop waiting for motivation. Build focus. Focus creates motivation, not the other way around. Chapter 4. The Comparison Catastrophe. Social media turned comparison into a full-time job, and you're losing. Every time you open Instagram, you're comparing your behind-the-scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Their vacation photos versus your Tuesday morning. Their promotion announcement versus your rejection email. But here's what you don't see. The 847 photos they didn't post. The debt they're hiding. The anxiety behind the smile. The relationship that's falling apart. Berkeley researchers call this compare and despair. Your brain can't tell the difference between reality and carefully curated fiction, so it treats every Instagram story as evidence that you're failing. The antidote is brutal in its simplicity. Stop consuming other people's wins and start tracking your own. I created what I call a progress journal. Every day I write down 3 things. One thing I did better than yesterday, one thing I learned, one thing I'm grateful for. Sounds cheesy? Maybe, but after 30 days, something incredible happened. I stopped caring about other people's success because I was too busy celebrating my own growth. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. Everyone else is just noise. Chapter 5. The Willpower Lie. Willpower is a muscle that gets tired, and most of us are trying to bench press with a broken arm. Bezos wore the same suit every day. Zuckerberg wears the same t-shirt. Not because they lack fashion sense, but because they understand something most people don't. Every decision you make depletes your mental energy. Psychologists call it decision fatigue. You wake up with a full tank of willpower, but every choice, what to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first, drains that tank. By evening, you're running on empty. That's why you end up ordering pizza and watching Netflix instead of working out. The solution isn't more willpower, it's fewer decisions. I redesigned my entire life around this principle. Same breakfast every day. Scrambled eggs, berries, coffee. Gym clothes laid out the night before. Work starts with the hardest task, not emails. Phone stays in do not disturb until noon. Systems beat willpower every time, because when the right choice becomes automatic, you don't need superhuman discipline. You need good design. Chapter 6. Pain is your compass. This might sound dark, but here's the truth. Your biggest failures will teach you more than your biggest successes ever could. I got fired from my dream job at 26. Devastating? Absolutely. But that rejection forced me to start my own business. That business failed, so I started another and another. Each failure was a masterclass in what doesn't work. Stanford's research on post-traumatic growth shows something remarkable. People who experience significant challenges often develop higher levels of resilience, stronger relationships, and greater life satisfaction than those who never face adversity. Pain isn't punishment, it's information. It's your brain's way of saying, pay attention, this matters, learn from this. The reframe that changed everything? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? That question transforms suffering into strategy. It turns setbacks into comebacks. It makes you anti-fragile. Your scars are not your shame, they're your credentials. The one decision that changes everything. Here's what I wish someone had told me at 22. Life doesn't change in years, it changes in moments. One conversation can change your career. One book can change your mindset. One decision can change your direction. You don't need a decade to transform your life. You need clarity about what matters and the courage to act on it. So here's your moment. Pick one lesson from this video, just one, and do something about it in the next 24 hours. Create a timestamp by doing something new. Take a 10-minute discomfort sprint. Set up one system that eliminates a daily decision. Start a progress journal. Build a 25-minute focus block. Ask yourself what your current pain is teaching you. The difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent, luck, or connections. It's the willingness to act when inspiration strikes. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. If this hit different, smash that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one where we're going to talk about the 3 money mistakes that keep people broke forever. Remember, you can't change your past, but you can architect your future. Start building today.